Well, I suppose the time has come. We finished Epic Mickey 1. That was a full Let's Play. This, however, is not going to be a full Let's Play. This is just going to be a little preview of the first act, let's call it, of Epic Mickey 2, The Power of Two, for the Nintendo Wii, which was the lead platform. Oh, shut up. That's the intro cutscene. You're not supposed to see that until later.
So this game has an attract mode then, basically?
It has unlike the first game, which had a separate attract mode, the attract mode in this is just the opening cutscene. Yeah, this originally, lead platform was the Wii. That was handled by Junction Point. Then we had HD ports of this game to the Wii U, Xbox 360, PS3, and PC. Shut up, Jensen. We'll get to you eventually. Jesus Christ. Okay, I'm just going to, mindlessly mash the D-pad so that Jensen doesn't interrupt me again. And it was ported to the PC, or rather, it was canceled, then uncanceled, then released only in specific parts of Europe, and then eventually given a full release worldwide on Steam. There's a whole story behind that, which we'll get to at a later point in time. So
Junction Point didn't handle those?
Those were handled by Blitz Games. The Wii was still the lead platform. Junction Point handled that.
Well, not coincidentally, I actually looked out on the reviews, and the only one that seems to get a decent review is the actual Wii version, so...
Which is weird for reasons that we'll get into later. Anyway, I like that the clock tower's face is used as the autosave logo, despite the fact that, spoilers, the clock tower doesn't return, at least not as an enemy. Or as...
Well, of course, we killed him.
Yeah, that's canon.
That's true, yeah.
That is canonical. He is dead. He's been he's been relegated post-mortem to being the autosave icon. Anyway, there one unfortunate downside, and this is actually something I learned is not exclusive to the PC version. It's that unfortunately I had to tie the music down to this specifically because this game has, full motion video cutscenes like the first game did. But for whatever reason, the audio level is tied to music. There is no cutscene audio. So in-game music is going to be a little quieter than normal. Because if I were to put this at the default setting, it would blow out your eardrums with the way that I have everything set up right now.
Oh boy.
There's also, some concept art. There's the movies. You can see the credits at any time. There's Cartoon, which is the skeleton dance from 1929.
Just a cartoon.
And that's about as much as I feel comfortable playing before
Fair.
Disney's lawyers come after me. By the time this goes up, Steamboat Willie will have been made public domain, but not the skeleton dance.
Oh, I see. Yeah, Disney's got to farm all that skeleton dance money that they're pulling in.
Oh yeah. It's not
billions in skeleton dance.
It's not going to Irix's family, that's for sure. Anyway, enough jibber jabbering. Let's actually see what Epic Mickey 2: The Power of Two is all about. Now you can proceed, Jensen. Take it away.
Not long ago, a rather brave but mischievous mouse discovered a world I had created for forgotten toons. The mouse faced many challenges and choices, but in the end he saved Wasteland from total destruction with the help of a new friend, Oswald, the Lucky Rabbit.
Also, since Epic Mickey 2 is multi-platform, this serves as a mini recap on the first game's story.
Over evil, and a family was reunited.
Oh, and remember there was that whole post-credit scene of a bit of the blot coming off of Mickey, even though he went back to his room?
That's
Yes.
right.
Yeah, forget about that. It doesn't matter in the sequel.
No continuity.
And another thing, this game actually has full voice acting, not just Jensen. Which means that we get to hear a lot of Frank Welker basically doing his Fred Jones voice for Oswald.
I liked those subtitles, by the way. Jumps and runs.
Yeah, their stage directions is, those show up a lot. But it's not just talking that's in this game. Oh no, this goes a step further.
What is that?
Friends,
Oh.
I stand before you a changed man. I've seen the error of my ways, and now I've got a plan. I know
So
no,
I
it's a
kept
musical.
I kept bringing up that in The Mad Doctor from 1929, the Doctor only communicates in song, and they bring it over here to Evan Mickey 2.
but there's trouble in the Gulch. Big trouble, friends. I'm here to tell you. Help me, help you. What better time to start? Help me, help you. Find a hero with a heart. Beware, beware.
This needs the bouncing sing-along ball.
It absolutely does, yeah. I don't care how much hell that would be for the localization teams in other languages, it needed to happen.
It was just my luck as I was on my way to you.
Nobody's buying this, right?
Danger.
Like, it doesn't seem like a coincidence that he would be coming back just like when a catastrophe strikes. Like, I've seen The Incredibles. I know how this works.
Help you.
And I've played, and Roy has seen Crash Bandicoot 2. We know how the story goes.
Yeah. Literally everybody is eating this up but Oswald.
No, Oswald's eating it up the most.
Oh no.
Oswald, it's you. You and me with heart and nerve. Together, we'll be heroes. A second chance is what we all deserve.
Well, cartoons, they are idiots, you know.
They are idiots when it is narratively convenient and or funny.
I can't help but notice there are no seatbelts, Doc.
Back to the castle to reach out
He's adding that in the next patch.
who could truly help them in their time of need.
Ah, I see they sent out the mouse signal.
Tirelessly for many days and many nights, Gus constructed a device that would put the fated wasteland back into the hands of a certain brave mouse.
If only this was the hidden Kevin Conroy game.
Oh no, he's gonna talk, isn't he?
Welcome to Mickey's house. This is pretty much as it is in Through the Mirror and some other bits of media.
Ma, TV's haunted again.
Yeah, he's gonna come like crawling
See,
out
I
of the
told
TV.
you. I told you not to forget Gremlin Prescott. He is, for some reason, a significant character in the story.
All right, so we're gonna need to like pass this tape on to like 10 other people, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You need to help us. Sending you to a place. Get the brush.
Place, that's very descriptive.
Hey, what about that whole get the brush thing?
Once again entered my workshop.
I see.
Goal in mind.
That's very convenient television.
Retrieve my magic brush.
Well, we're back.
I too have played Persona 4.
I mean, to be fair, this is the same spot where when Mickey jumped into the mirror last time, he ended up in Jensen's lab.
Mickey needed to retrieve my sorcery
Oh yeah.
from its fragile cage. But how to do so?
So, this is the one and only reason why I am not doing a full Let's Play of Evan Mickey 2. The dialogue in this game is overwhelming. I feel like Junction Point were really insulted by the complaints of like the Banjo-Kazooie, garble talk from the first game. Because, oh my god, there is way too much voice acting in this game. and it's very intrusive.
Seems a little weird that we're getting e-tickets before we even enter the world, though.
I mean, I think we are technically in the world. Anyway, this is the cap that we need. This one area is a huge homage to the Sorcerer's Apprentice from Fantasia.
Seam transition there.
Anyway, this is the Wasteland on the table. If you remember, it's basically like a tabletop set, but we won't be able to go there just yet. Let's follow these guys. They seem to know they seem to know the one path upstairs. I really like the lighting. Yeah. I really like the lighting in this area, especially if you've seen Sorcerer's Apprentice recently. That whole sequence with the water overwhelming the lab. I also think this area's tutorial is much better than the first game's.
Yeah, it seems to be working all right. Yeah, like they're giving a little like spin attack and double jump.
Plane of imagination, fueled by brush, paint, and thinner.
Now, if I recall correctly, there's a hidden e-ticket over here. The white one. Somewhere around... There it is.
So Yensid isn't going to be explaining the plot to us throughout the entire game, is he?
No, other characters are going to do that. He's just here for the prologue. And for those who've already noticed, this is the PC version. It is hard locked to 30 frames per second. There are some things with this port, which we'll be getting into. If you manually try to change the frame rate, the game actually slows down considerably. So
really,
we're playing with a gamepad. There is no Wii remote, so there are a couple of different control methods that you can use to control the stream of the magic brush. So this is the standard one. You just use the right stick, and the cursor stays in the middle of the screen, and you can pan the camera with the right stick, like a normal video game.
Right, like that's how a shooter game would work.
Yeah, exactly. And you'll notice there's a binding box that fills like about 3/4 of the screen here. If you try to go any further than that with the right stick, it moves the camera. Also, don't let this game's generous, dunking of paint fool you. This game is actually quite conservative with its resource dropping. It's just this little tutorial area.
It does seem like they are trying to make the creation effects a little bit more like pronounced. Like instead of just filling in the terrain, like now it's like stuff like comes alive and animates and everything.
Yeah. So filling in these stars is actually optional. It is therefore an achievement, creatively titled "When You Wish Upon a Star." And if you do that, there's a Mickey head over here.
Aww.
And again, there's an achievement for it, but I got that achievement years ago, so it's not going to show up again.
I mean, there's a way to reset your achievements on Steam, though.
I'm not going to do that just for this. Like, I'm putting in effort, but not this much effort,
Yeah.
Find the truth behind his unease.
So we are switching from paint to thinner, and I am switching from gamepad to keyboard and mouse.
Yeah.
So with keyboard and mouse, you have a bit of a range here. There is a binding box, which is much smaller. It's maybe about halfway through the screen.
Smaller.
And I think you have to hit R. Yes, R to go into first person, which this mouse, I can't really show it here, but the mouse acceleration is awful. I will, however, give this game something of a pass for reasons that we'll get into later. Anyway, this doesn't look safe. I don't think this is Mickey's house.
It could be Mickey's house. Like, it's got, like, the Mickey Mouse ears behind the bed.
Yeah, but Mickey's house isn't made of tune. Oh, right. We have to forget. Or cannot forget, we got to get his slippers, too. Very important.
Why slippers, specifically?
I don't know. It just seems like a specific object that, you know, when you thin out the rest of this house, doesn't really seem to, you know, it just seems like it's not as much collision there. But hey, these are blueprints. What's going on here?
Blueprints?
Yeah, look, these are all like, or actually more like
Yeah.
blueprints, cartoon outlines. That's the TV that Gus spoke to us from here. Yeah, this looks suspicious. Just like in the first game, you can tap the right or left mouse button. And oh, okay, we've been shattered. Our illusion of the world has been shattered. Let's,
Wow, it's just like in Prey where you hit the window with a wrench.
What do the numbers mean, Mickey?
Well, I don't know. Something tells me these guys are, you know, they're either working too hard or they're like forming a union or something. Mickey's not pro-union at all, given who he works for. So we better deal with these guys. That was fun. Let's do it again.
Killed them.
Oh yeah, they're dead. And unlike every other enemy or friend in the game, we cannot revive these guys with paint. They're dead.
Oh, wow.
Not only are they dead, they're
Okay.
physics objects. You can't really maneuver them here, but hopefully, if things go right, we'll be able to see them getting physicsed. Yeah, that felt fun. Let's keep going with these guys here. These are all labor leaders. I think I'm missing one.
Yeah, we wouldn't want to spare anybody.
No, spare no expense. Okay, this is actually unscripted. I'm no longer performing. Ah, okay, I remember. Because these guys also count. We have to paint them in. And I wonder what will happen if we paint these in and stop all of the water. There's these guys over here. Bit out of range, but those guys up there, they don't count. It's just the guys that are pouring water.
I suppose you can forgive the aiming controls for being a little bit wonky when you consider that you are like firing a steady stream of paint. Like they're not asking for pinpoint precision there.
Yeah, and plus, I mean, these controls are clearly not finished, but for reasons that I'll get into later, I'm not gonna forgive them, but I at least understand. Anyway, Q for melee, because E is mapped to the B button, and these two chests appear when you stop all the water flow. And one other thing, this looks vaguely Toon-like. Oh look, it's the Mickey head we made earlier. And if you don't fill in everything and it's kind of blurry, it actually does accommodate that. Which I think is pretty neat. So now we've learned about paint, we've learned about thinner. It is time to keep going and combine these skills. This is a mechanic that unfortunately does not appear nearly as often as I'd like. But it is cool while it lasts. Okay, I was actually kind of afraid that I'd hit the platform I was standing on there, but it has happened once or twice. And one last thing over here. Again, this animation is so faithful to Sorcerer's Apprentice. Really cool.
Armed with the magic brush, what would Mickey do? Would he paint the world or thin it to nothingness?
What about one then the other?
Was his.
No, the choice is ours. What do you think? Should we get the money or get a pin that is, while useless, is something you can't get anywhere else in the game unless you're really lucky in one specific mechanic? What do you
Go
think?
for the collectibles.
Yeah, I feel like we should get the pin.
Ah, I do not expect that, but it's your choice. Let's go for the pin. Now I have to change my route because I'll be 100 e-tickets short. That's okay though.
I mean, if you're going to tell us that, then you got to clue us in on this kind of thing.
And I've done that little showcase already. But while we're here, actually, because there's actually another mechanic that could be interesting later, the more freeform aiming style is actually usable on gamepad. I'm going to hit the back button, and now we can control with the analog stick. Has a similar binding box to how it did with PC. Or with the keyboard, I should say. And it works pretty well.
Things they have to do in order to imitate a fraction of the Wii's power.
I mean, I think the PlayStation 3 version, I'm pretty sure, has move capability. And there's a pin. This is one thing I wished was in the first game, was that it actually shows you what the pin is like before you pick it up.
Very cool.
Again, apologies for how quiet the music is, but I have to do it because of these goddamn cutscenes.
Oh, where could he be? He should be back by now.
Unfortunately, Hortensia also has voice acting.
Oh, gosh, that was a doozy of a landing. But I sure am glad to see you guys. What's going on?
You're just in the nick of time, Mickey. Wasteland is becoming inert again, and with all the damage from the quake.
Not only that, but the Mad Doctor is back.
He is? And then...
Oh, she's squeaky.
Right here.
She's like the one silent movie actress from Singing in the Rain.
So worried.
Sorry.
Hopefully someone gets the reference. I know it's
I
pretty
know.
old. Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
He came to warn us.
Oh, yeah.
And I can't stand it. They're part block, part animatronic, and
I can't stand him.
He is up to something. I just know it.
come on, Hortensia. Doesn't everybody deserve a second chance?
Second chances are
Just
kind of the
put me
morals.
back in carbonite.
Yeah.
To get to the bottom of this.
Second chances are kind of like the central moral of this game, even though I think it applies better to the first game.
Get a number on the projector, so we'll have to use the train.
Well, if you really insist on talking to the Mad Dog. Hurry! Let's go before the whole castle falls down!
At the rate of going, this preview is going to be like 5 hours, but it'll be worth it.
Oh, hurry, boys! The place is crumbling!
So, Oswald is going to be accompanying us for the rest of the game. He is a full NPC now. Hi, buddy. Why are you doing idle animations with the thing you haven't collected yet? Please stop spoiling the game, Oswald.
Also, he just yanked his leg off.
Yeah, he did that in the first game. He used his leg as a key. Anyway, we're in
yeah,
Dark
that's
Beauty
right.
Castle. Yeah, we're in Dark Beauty Castle here. A truncated version of it, just for the tutorial.
Double jump, slide across that gap.
Unfortunately, the camera is not letting us see, but Oswald can double jump and fly, like Tails, essentially.
Falling down! We have to go! Hurry up, you slowpokes!
I mean, as applied to game logic, I mean, Oswald is basically the Tails to Mickey's Sonic.
Go around and look for her.
By Jove, I bet you two can get out of here by using that balcony.
That's balcony?
So, especially because, you know, I'm recording this game in 2160p, but it's really obvious that Gus is just a sprite when he calls you over like this.
Yeah, he is very much like he looks like he's just a floating standee.
Which, again, it would probably look better on the Wii. Again, with a lot of this game's design decisions, it's best to keep in mind that the Wii was the lead platform and the HD versions were just ported over. Anyway, let's call Oswald over.
Mickey, go over to Oswald and lob him up so he can do a bit of scouting.
And now we're going to release the B button.
Oh my! Well, that was convenient. Hop up there and let's get going.
So, the subtitle of this game is The Power of Two. And that's because this game was designed from the ground up to support co-op play, with player 2 as Oswald. Now, unfortunately, the thing about that is that, again, the Wii was the lead platform, so none of the versions of Epic Mickey 2 support online co-op. It is split screen only, which you don't even get on the PC version. That's been disabled.
So basically, it's single player only on the PC.
Exactly. Unless you're on PlayStation Vita, in which you can take advantage of the ad hoc multiplayer that they support.
Both gears need to be spun in order to open the door.
Now, Gus wants us to do a co-op action. However, there's a chest over there, and we're going to take advantage of a mechanic that the game has not taught us yet. Because not only can we toss Oswald up into the air, we can fly!
Oh, wow, he is Tails.
Yo!
He really is Tails. And okay, that mechanic of him pulling up is kind of inconsistent. Oh, wait a minute. I didn't know this could happen. If you bring Oswald over here, this is another mechanic. He can boost Mickey up into the air. I actually did not know it was possible to do that with this particular chest.
Don't worry about it.
See, I'm learning things.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Yeah, and I wonder what's in this chest.
Be right there.
That's weird. I wonder what that is.
Oh, it's the public domain character hat.
Yep, the soon-to-be redacted hat when this game gets mysteriously patched. But that's actually a costume piece. There are costumes that both Mickey and Oswald can wear, and they do have gameplay effects.
Yeah, I know how to do this.
There we go.
This place is falling apart.
Oswald's AI is not the best. We'll see. We'll see many examples of that in this review, probably.
The machine holding your remote has sunk. If we're
This is the Resident Evil 5 of Mickey games.
machine working again. Maybe there's some tune around here that needs painting.
And if you wait here for like more than 5 seconds, Gus repeats what he said, so we're just gonna paint him in. There we go.
I'll just use
Oh,
my
they
arm to...
are kind of afraid to let you figure things out for yourself, are they?
Exactly.
Here it is. Now you'll see what I can really do, Mickey.
So instead of a paintbrush and melee, Oswald has a remote control that shoots electricity, and he can also use one of his arms as a boomerang.
Waiting for? Don't you want to find Hortensia?
I mentioned before in the main LP that this game is over-designed. It suffers from needless complexity. And that's because we've already picked up e-tickets. But this is another currency type. Instead of picking up the generic pins that were in chests in the first game, instead they are themselves a new form of currency.
Ah, a genetic pin. There's a pin trader in Mean Street North who loves trading these.
Oh, pin trading is a mechanic now, too.
Yeah, specifically generic pin trading.
To start turning it. That should move the lift up the ladder.
Also, if you can think of a potential co-op action, Mickey and Oswald probably do it.
Wait. Are they going to like alternate using like a seesaw in order to power something?
Actually, I don't think it does that, but it does a lot of others.
Shocking the switch that's connected to the machine. And let's see if we can get it running. Look at that. If you follow the cable, you'll see that it's sending power to the next machine.
This one's mine.
The scripted sequence of events here is very easy to break, both intentionally and unintentionally, so I had to practice this area many times to make sure I don't accidentally cut off dialogue, which I've already done several times.
To get this machine open. I know. Mickey, grab a hold of that handle over there and start pulling.
This is another co-op action
Need to hit both
with
electrodes
Mickey and
on the
Oswald working together. Player 1 has to keep this open, while Player 2 shocks the switch open.
This won't do. The charge isn't going anywhere. You'll have to...
Yeah, this is...
to get this thing operating again.
This.
I see the idea behind it. It's just really awkward looking when you're not actually doing co-op.
It is. But I don't worry, I've practiced this. I know what I'm doing. I'm a professional Let's Player on a closed course. Do not try this at home, kids.
This one's mine.
So we got two options. Shut up, Oswald, please. We got two options here. We can sit out this latch, which will cause this whole area to collapse. But instead, and I'm going to do this mainly because you guys chose the unique pin over 100 e-tickets, we're going to paint this in instead.
kind of like what they've been directing you to do thus far. The thinner path is actually the one that was less intuitive.
I'll admit that particular choice is, you know, that is kind of an outlier. Also, I want to point out, I'm not moving the right stick at all. This is the camera. This is the game's automatic movement of the camera. It is significantly improved. I feel like, oh yes, I'm forgetting this. There's actually a costume piece for Oswald in this chest. It's a headband. The Track Runner. The Track Runner costume is actually, if you're playing the single player, I argue that Track Runner is probably the best costume for an AI Oswald, for reasons we'll get into later. I will be buying and equipping the rest of the Track Runner later on in this little preview video, so you'll see.
So I take it the costumes change the mechanics slightly?
They do. And a unique pin up there. There's also a pin, a different pin if we had chosen to blast through the front door, as it were.
Yard leads to the train station. If we could just... Great! The path's blocked!
And we're about to get our first taste of combat.
Spatters in the castle? They're not supposed to be here. Before we advance, we'll have to deal with them. To make them friendly, fire paint at an enemy. Or thinner, to thin them out.
Now, Oswald, try as he might, he cannot actually defeat enemies by himself. Mickey still has to use his brush.
Yeah,
and he can kind of stun them. Yeah, he can stun them.
Come
Now this is unique. This only happens if we decide to use thinner, which is that extra reinforcements appear. If we had painted in those first two enemies, the fight ends immediately.
Oh, the pipe is a spawner. Okay.
Yep. Usually it's an infinite spawner, but for this fight, they cheated. And it's only a certain number of enemies.
This place won't last much longer. Let's use that rubble to make our way to the train station.
And there's a chest over here. If I remember correctly, this has a silver pin. Oh no, this is a gold pin. No, it is a silver pin. Never mind. Bronze pins are worth 1. Silver pins are worth 3. Gold pins are worth 5. And you can trade them in for unique pins, and you can also exchange them for different types of currency. You see what I mean, right? About this being like over-designed.
Needlessly complex, yeah.
It's too wide for jumping.
I mean, there are just, you know, adjusting to what would become the norm of, you know, games with like 5 different kinds of currency.
And Mickey, if you jump and grab onto his feet, both of you can travel to the other side together.
In order for that full dialogue to trigger, I specifically had to wait and not grab onto Oswald there.
Is mine.
Because otherwise, you get this.
A bit of cloth, eh? We should take this to the haberdasher and see what he can do with it.
Now you can pick up items, you can buy items or pick them up and wait, what the hell am I trying to say? Haberdasher sells pieces of clothing and of costumes, which you can pick up for free, or you can buy them using cloth, not e-tickets or generic pins or the 4th type of currency we have yet to be introduced to.
Wow, I was only joking.
Oh, you ain't seen nothing yet. That's scrap metal, by the way. That's the 4th bit of currency in this game. That is reserved more or less entirely for specific side quests where things need to be rebuilt.
Wow.
Oh, there you are! Come on, we need to get out of here!
Oh my god, we're 35 minutes into this. We've only just beaten the tutorial. This is going to be like a 15-hour stream, isn't it?
Well, it depends. Where are we headed?
Isn't she the best?
Well, we're not headed anywhere with that huge thing of rubble on the train tracks.
Wait, are those fireworks? Oswald! I thought I told you to get rid of them!
I did. I meant to, but
Just a minute, you two. If Oswald were to shock those fireworks, they'd ignite, correct? So, if we move them next to those rocks and lit them off, then just maybe...
They just fly off into the air and not be effective? Like, fireworks aren't dynamite.
Let's not forget, we beat the blot with fireworks. Okay, that thing could have destroyed this whole world. Also, look over there. Hi, Maleficent.
Excuse me for a second.
Oh no, the fireworks killed Blastinus.
Yeah, sorry. I had to respond to an inquiry.
Well, looks like they killed you and then revived you.
We just leave Gus behind because, like, his voice is the one that I feel like doesn't fit.
Hey, Doc.
Oh no, it's another song.
Mickey, you don't trust me, yes I know. I was an evil, greedy toon, but that was long ago. And now this mad doctor is no longer...
See, the thing with Mad Doctor is that 30 years ago, he played Valjean Les Miserables in his local community theater production, and he's never gotten over that. So he's just stuck in his musical phase forever.
But danger is coming, and Bloodworks is their name. The Bloodwings made some weapons. It's a shame, yes, it's a shame. The weapons, the earthquakes, it's not a happy day. Wasteland is in danger, I would say.
Hey, Doc, you okay?
Oh, no.
Oh.
Help.
They need to mend. We're off to help the other lands till then.
To be honest, the only issue I really have with these musical numbers is that Doc's singing style is kind of like, it's very shout-singy, and not really a fan of that. Other than that, I think it's okay.
Our first order of business is to get the projectors working again. Last I heard, Jamface was in Mean Street North. He'll know what to do.
Oh, you boys go ahead. I'll wait here until the Oztown projector starts working. But you be careful. I just know that Mad Doctor is up to something. Good luck, honey bunny.
Oswald, do you really believe the Mad Doctor is good now?
I sure hope so, Mickey. I really do.
Gosh, Gus, I didn't think Mean Street would be this... broken.
Well, it's gotten worse since the main quake. All the aftershocks have caused the thinner to come up, and the buildings to crumble even more. Gremlin Jamface will be overseeing repairs on the north side of Mean Street, and the underground is the only way over there.
Oh, I just
The
realized...
commute must be yeah.
Sorry, you were saying something?
I said the commute must be terrible around here.
Oh yeah, it is. Although, if we decide to take the good paths of side quests, maybe it'll be less of a hellish commute. I realized I just forgot to do a sync check very quickly. 1, 2, 3. That's just in case
Sync.
things go wrong.
Okay. Should I have said sync?
No, because it's just on my end. It's universal. Anyway, well, hey, there's a projector back here.
All the projectors went down with the quake, but Gremlin Jamface is working hard on getting them in tip-top shape once more.
Yeah, that's basically like the main objective of Act 1, is getting these projectors back online. And there's another chest in here. I think this one also has a silver pin. Oh, I might as well. What is that I was trying to show off there? That Mickey could block Oswald's electricity. It makes more sense when you consider this is multiplayer.
I guess that's a little bit charming. Does the reverse also happen, where Oswald can get accidentally hit with thinner?
Yes. Now,
That would be a yes.
Now, we're in single player, so Oswald will just respawn on his own. But there is a timer, similar to, going down in Gears of War, let's say. There's an achievement which was cut from the PC version, obviously, where as Mickey, you revive Oswald. Or is it the other way around? Point is, the achievement name is Clear!
Ah.
Anyway, I feel like this guy has a side quest for us, so let's go talk to him.
Be careful!
Hey there, friend. Come to admire the Wasteland Limited? Well, you're a little late, I'm afraid. You see, the clock on top of the station went haywire after the quake.
I feel like Roy would do a really good impression of this
Can't schedule
character.
any arrivals or departures. One of the gremlins said there's a short-circuiting cooling fan up there that's causing the problem, but it's spinning so fast no one can fix it. Hey, wait!
We didn't think to turn the power off.
I was right!
You could use those to slow down the fan and get inside the clock tower. Maybe you could...
I know this seems needlessly complicated.
Oh, and if you can, help me out at the other stations in Ventureland, Oztown, and Bog Easy too. Thanks!
So, fun fact, for 100%...
So this guy gets around, huh?
Yeah. For 100% speedruns, this side quest is the only reason it requires two playthroughs to get 100%. Because one of them is an achievement for going through the entire game without repairing the train stations. Anyway, let's go around here. Now, given that I am 100 e-tickets short, this may actually put things in a bit of a precarious situation. Let's see. Oh, no, never mind. We're perfectly good. We needed 250 e-tickets to get the watch sketch. But I think this guy also has a side quest for us.
I'm your biggest fan, man. Well, you and Oswald, too. You both are fab, man. In fact, I got a flower bed on the other side of the train station that I want to make look like one of you. Legend has it that there's all these things out there that look like you and Oswald. They're like hidden all over Wasteland.
I mentioned this particular side quest. I think it was when we were in Tomorrow City.
You name it. And they have either the shape of Oswald or you. So,
I know it's been a while, but I'm pretty sure I mentioned that.
And take pictures of a bunch of those hidden heroes and bring them back to me. Whichever.
Oh, so we're doing hidden Mickeys.
Exactly. And hidden Oswalds. Let's not forget those.
Plant my flower bed to match. Sound good? You got a camera, right? Oh, you don't? Well, we'll have to fix that for sure. Hey, I know. Go talk.
By the way, that Oswald head on the cone over to the right doesn't count. It has to be a natural formation.
Big old crack the quake made.
I see. Is there any way you can, like, speed up these guys' dialogue, or...
Not without skipping it completely.
Oh, that's a shame.
Just when things were getting back to normal, those quakes had to come and mess it all up.
So that's the thing. This is half of Main Street. Now, the story reason is that, you know, the big old earthquake came by and split this area in two. But I think it's because this game had to be compatible for split screen with the Nintendo Wii's limited hardware. So they needed an excuse for shorter map, or smaller map sizes.
Oh, so it's like Deus Ex Invisible War.
Exactly.
To help us maintain the tune around town.
Now, this is another side quest, which we're not going to do. However, here's this. This is a gold piece of cloth. And that's worth 100 pieces of cloth.
Yeah, we gotta keep all our arbitrary currencies straight, right?
Yep. Get out of the way, Oswald.
Knock it off, Mickey.
No, I will not knock it off.
No, we knocked him off.
Okay, you weren't kidding when you said this was dialogue heavy.
Yeah, and I'm going out of my way not to trigger as many of the pieces of dialogue. I swear that these pieces of gold cloth are actually pretty rare. It's just that Main Street South happens to have a few of them.
We should hang on to it for later.
Anyway, let's go over to the general store. You remember Casey, right? We had to get his backroom key. I'm sure, you know.
Oh yeah.
Let's go over here because we have to get the watch sketch.
Welcome to the Emporium. Oh, it's a bit worse for wear since last you saw it, but I still have things for sale you won't find anywhere else.
See, this is what happened. Casey retired, and he appears to have sold his general store to Male Cow, and he has not kept up appearances.
In Wasteland who can use them, so they're not what you would call.
You know, it's interesting that someone would name their kid Male.
Take a look.
I mean, how is that any worse than naming your kid Guy? Anyway, these options here for refilling Oswald's electricity, there's no purpose for that because it only applies to multiplayer. When you're doing single player, Oswald has infinite ammo. These are maps to show the hidden Mickeys and Oswalds around town. But we're gonna save our money for the watch sketch.
A pleasure doing business with you.
That's a sketch. Ah, yes, I remember how to use those. The watch makes time move as slow as molasses.
And that, unfortunately, is another consequence of this going multi-platform. Because you can no longer have, an elaborate, beautifully animated sequence where the character holds a Wii remote and then expect to, put that into the Xbox 360 version of the game, can you?
No, I suppose that wouldn't make any sense. Especially since these are all port jobs. They weren't actually designed by War Inspector and crew.
Yeah. This, by the way, I'll actually explain this later. There's a specific map where it's really useful. Anyway, let's go over here and... that is a lot of wind blowing over there through the clock tower. So, now, there's a particular sequence of events you have to do. The game wants you to waste time and throw Oswald up there. However, throw down the watch sketch first, and then throw Oswald up.
This'll be easy. That's it.
And there we
Yay!
go. And for whatever reason, Mickey can be thrown up there, even though there's actually nothing of value up there. Kind of weird.
You did it! The clock is working! That means I can start
Was Oswald intended to be able to just interrupt himself?
It's 100% consistent in that cutscene. But, anyway. So, there is fast travel in this game. In fact, there are multiple, possibly, potentially redundant fast travel methods in this game. The train station is one of them. We're not going to go to the museum, because there's already way too much crap I'm introducing just in this preview. Instead, we are going to go over to this. I mean, we did mention that, or Gus did mention the haberdasher earlier when we picked up some cloth, so let's see what this haberdasher is.
I mean, that would be the Mad Hatter, right? No.
Hello there, Mr. Moose. No, wait, you're not a moose.
I mean, you're half right.
Bigger ears. Are you in need of a hat? All mooses need hats, yes sirree. I'd sell you one, but I'm afraid my hats are out to lunch. You see, when Wasteland shook, all the lights went out. Then the power... Or was it the other way round? I've been looking for the fuse box, but I think it's hiding. It always does that when it gets upset.
Mickey, let's try and help him while we look for that entrance to the underground.
Thankfully, the hidden fuse box has relocated itself just across the way here. And that's Horace. We're not going to be interacting with his side quest line.
We found the entrance to the underground. Good show.
We're not going to go in just yet, because we have another co-op action.
I know how to do this.
There's the fuse box. Now, the PC version actually has slightly better AI for Oswald. In the original at-launch version for 360, PS3, and Wii, etc., it would take significantly longer for Oswald to get up here. But there is some kind of extra scripting that's been added to the PC version that makes him, in particular, this area, makes Oswald much easier. It gets Oswald a much easier time getting up here.
Good show, Mickey. The haberdasher shop is running as smooth as silk. I expect he'll be very pleased. Although it's hard to tell with him being mad and all.
He didn't seem that mad.
I think he meant in the mental health way, as opposed to being consistently angry. We will be talking again with the haberdasher soon, but not quite yet. We're a bit short on cloth.
Shall we enter the underground?
And this is how we deal with getting around places. There are actual doors. And here is a new enemy called the Dropwing. Gus is actually going to tell us about the Dropwing in a couple of paces because again I've memorized all the dialogue triggers so that this preview is slightly palatable. You can see why I'm not doing a full Let's Play, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Watch out for the drop wing, Mickey. Not only does it spit thinner, but it'll pick you up if you get too close.
Now, the game does have lock-on. However, it only works with the freeform version of the aiming system. If you have this one, where it's in the middle, I'm holding down left bumper, which is the reset your camera and lock-on button. It's not doing anything. But if we go into the quick form here, it gives us lock-on.
Yeah, Metroid Prime, this ain't.
No, it's much better. I'm kidding. Please don't yell at me in the comments.
Once Oswald jumps in the air, he can glide across. And Mickey, if you jump and grab onto his feet, both of you can travel to the other side together.
Yeah,
so
you told us this.
Yeah, now that the drop wing is befriended, he will actually start spitting out paint instead of thinner.
Yeah, I remember that was a problem with the bucket guys, that even when you made them friends, they still threw thinner at stuff.
Oh, you're talking about the why did I so the sweepers, that's their name.
Yeah, I'm sort of difficult to make friends with in fights. At least when we were Alpine, it seemed like you were having difficulties with those guys.
Yeah, I mean the sweepers come across more or less unchanged from the original, but this is an enemy type. These are called blotworks. They are the basic new enemy. Mickey and Oswald have to work together to take them down. Except for very specific situations, which are highly context sensitive. And here is the gremlin cage, which, again, Oswald has to free with electricity, and then we can break open the cage.
Oh, thank you for freeing me.
It seems like it's less of a pain in the ass in this one to befriend as well. Like, I feel like you used a lot of paint in Epic Mickey 1 for that.
Oh yeah, I noticed that. It seemed like painting those guys was like almost half the time or more.
We got our first bit of fresh air in years. Silver lining and all that, I suppose. Now, if you need to get back across that big gap, I can get the balloon up and running again. First time's free since you busted me out, but I'll have to charge you next time. Fuel's pretty scarce since the quake. There you go. The balloons are working now if you need them.
There are also significantly fewer gremlins in this game. I think there's... Actually, I'm going to check in a minute here. There are only... Where are they? Operation Gremlin Drop. There's only like 16, I think, gremlins that are freed. I thought they were in the menu. I guess not. Yeah, 16 film reels and only a couple of different ones because I mean, yeah, the projectors come back, and of course with them the film reels.
I appreciate the game that shows Oswald's health bar even when it's completely irrelevant.
Exactly. Now, this is the entrance to Mean Street North. This is the one part of Epic Mickey 2 you two are familiar with, because I used it to test certain elements of the PC port's stability just a couple of minutes ago.
It's funny because you go through the hallway from Event Horizon to get there.
Anyway, yeah, this is the part where we pray, and we're praying
Fingers
to Crash.
crossed.
Yeah, praying to Crash Bandicoot, the PC port god, that we have a crashless cutscene.
Would you like to go to Mean Street North?
If we must.
All right, I'll roll a d20 and see if we succeed. Okay, roll a 14. We'll be fine.
It's good to see you again. Wait. You would not be here if Westland is not in peril.
Actually, we're here to fix the projectors. Do you know what happened to them?
Shh! Come closer. One would think the quake destroyed them. Yes? But the main projector substation in Rainbow Caverns went down before the quake.
Wait.
It is a strange thing, is it not? I do not know why.
The substation is in Rainbow Caverns, one of the first attractions built in Wasteland.
To reach it, you need to take the Dal engineering corridors.
We call them the DEC. If we take them over to Oztown and ask Prescott, he'll know how bad things are and how to get to the...
See, I told you Prescott.
Well, if
I told you Prescott was in the story.
Prescott, you can
Yeah, you did.
Street DEC through the construction site on the right side of the street. However, the way is closed because of the quake. Of course, there is another way down through the windmill, but it is in need of repair. I will be by the
Well, so far, so good.
Adieu.
First try, baby. We did it. We did it.
Wow.
No crashes. This crashed like 3 or 4 times in the OBS testing I did just before we went through the recording. In fact, there's a test recording that I still have that I'm gonna put right here, showing a particularly dramatically convenient crash. And now that I've had time to splice it in, let's continue.
That's gonna look great for anyone who's seen this raw.
Yeah. And it'll also literally look better because the recording is in 2160p as opposed to the 720p preview that you're seeing right here.
Well, hello there, Mickey. Just collecting parts, I am.
And it's not just Oswald. You can, of course, set out any NPC you want.
Does every gremlin have a different accent? Please let them all have different accents.
I'm pretty sure they do. I mean, there's of course Jamface, but I think he might be the only non-British gremlin in the game.
On my way!
We should speak with Jamface over by the Walt statue.
We will be speaking with Jamface in a bit, but first of all, here's something new. It's the camera shop. Seth mentioned Adele, who runs the camera shop. Also, there's another piece of cloth here.
You're sure that these are rare?
They are rare. I just happen to know where all of them are, or at least in the sequences that we're doing here. So let's go speak to Adele.
I just wanted to mention, you found another piece of cloth. You should hold on to it for later.
You're Mickey Mouse. How marvelous. Come to buy a camera, darling? Oh, now put that money away. I won't have the hero of the Blot Wars pay for anything in my shop.
The Blot Wars? I forgot they call the first game the Blot Wars.
You'll change things.
Sure, yeah.
I would love to.
You know, like the fact that she's okay with us not paying, like, doesn't mean that everyone else won't charge us.
But frankly, it's a wonder I'm even staying in business.
I give everybody free cameras.
Now that you have a camera, let's use it, shall we?
So everyone is just like these generic like gray like horses, eh?
So far, and
cows,
I mean, to be fair, it was like that in the first game as well.
Use the appropriate
I mean, yes, but not quite as often.
Inner photographer. When your film canister is full, you can return to Adele to save the photos. Now,
I've never actually seen these two NPCs so close together, so we're going to take pictures of that. And if I remember correctly, we have to go back to Adele to actually develop the photos. But first of all, there's this thing over here.
We should speak with Jamface.
Yes, shut up, Gus. We'll get to that in a minute. This looks suspiciously Oswald-like.
Why, I think that's one of the hidden Oswalds.
It's it's not his best likeness.
Thankfully, when you take a picture of either the hidden Mickey or Oswald, it does not take up one of your film reel slots, which I'm very grateful for.
I do hope you enjoyed taking those photographs. Bring me some good ones, won't you?
All right, I forgot we have to go over to the book here. Now, this was from a previous playthrough. I don't know what this is doing here, but we could go through here. This is also, if you're playing in co-op, Oswald has a separate camera.
What?
Whoa!
Well, that looks good. I'm gonna add that. I don't know why these are coming out the way they did. Maybe it's this is not supposed to happen. Like, I'm guessing this might be because I'm running this in 2160p and it doesn't know what to do. Because they're not supposed to look like that. Like, we look at this one. This is from an older playthrough, which somehow just got through. It looks fine. Oh, and remember this guy? This is Jack Kelly.
Me? I'm Jack Kelly. Yeah, the tabloid reporter. You got a scoop? I pay big time.
It was probably supposed to be a side quest with me, but it was cut.
Of all the things for him to cut, it's Jack Kelly.
And, well, let's... You heard that. Every so often, we get some aftershocks from the quake. It seems to happen randomly, and sometimes there will be some scrap metal that spawns out of the sky. Anyway, let's go talk to Jamface.
You want to get to the DEC, yes? Well, I have just the way. The entrance lies beyond the fence in the construction area. But I'd rather you not smash your way in like a bull in a china shop. No. The other entrance is through this windmill, but you can see that the quake was not kind to this poor thing. I was trying to fix it when you arrived, but I need some scrap metal to finish the job. You can find the metal scattered about, or you could speak to the shopkeepers. They might know where some is hidden. Hey, Mickey, let's get going, huh?
Shut up. Moving on. So we only have 12 scrap metal, and I'm actually very glad we don't have enough scrap metal because this leads to one of the best line readings in the game. Here we go.
Ha! You found some scrap metal. May I use it to repair the windmill? No, you simply do not have enough scrap metal. You can find the metal scattered about, or you could speak to the...
I love that line.
They might know.
And hey, we haven't seen some concept art. Here we go. Now, just like before, I will be adding, little preview windows that show the full bits of concept art. So, we have two main options here, and I am going to give you boys the choice of what we go to here. We can either go to the steamboat Oswald, because this is going to be tying into the projectors later. Alternatively, we can help Polly with the ice cream shop. Which one do you want to go to? Yeah?
Why don't we melt down the Walt statue for scrap metal?
Unfortunately, the Walt statue is an inert object. It is neither paint nor tune, nor anything else here. As an inert thing, it cannot be thinned out. And yes,
I see. And nobody's figured out the principle of old-fashioned metallurgy.
No, they only know how to add scrap metal to things. This is a non-creative world. Nothing can be created. It can only be reinterpreted and rebuilt from existing material.
Just like Disney.
It's a meta commentary. All right,
well,
so
all right, then let's do the ice cream.
All right, yeah, you know what?
Let's do that.
All right, okay.
Ice cream will work.
Hey there, the name's Paulie, and I'm the owner of the ice cream parlor. Sorry about the heat.
Whatever happened to my good friend Casey? I hear he sold the general store.
Get the air going again. I got some scrap metal for you if you do. You'll find the air conditioning unit up on the roof.
Now, if you are doing a 100% run, you want to talk to Paulie first. You can go and fix the air conditioner. However, the melting ice cream is one of the only items in the game that is permanently missable.
And do we need the melting ice cream for something?
If you want 100%, yeah, because it's a unique item. Now, most of the unique items you can actually buy from one of the stores on Main Street, but for whatever reason, the melting ice cream is not one of those. This is your one and only chance to grab it. Actually, melting ice cream aside, this game actually does a really good job of making sure that, nothing is missable. It's just that if you get the chance to miss it for free, oh, I missed my opportunity to take a photo there. It's just that if you don't pick it up for free, it will usually cost a lot.
I can't believe that Oswald just friggin' died.
Oh, hopefully that will happen many more times. There's plenty of opportunity. Also, this is a perfect opportunity to show off that Mickey can block his electricity. That is... Oh, awesome. Yes, I can take this photo.
Be careful.
Oh, you stopped. Okay, let's try that again. We missed a golden opportunity, Oswald. Wait, I'm pressing B and now it's not working. What are you doing? I'm glad that this game is breaking in interesting ways I haven't seen before. Okay, let's try this again. There we go. That's better.
Ha-ha! You fixed the air conditioner. Let's head back to Paulie and make sure his ice cream didn't cause a flood.
And you can also
How much
jump on
ice cream
here.
do you think this guy sells?
Now, if we were playing, if we had a player 2, they absolutely could take a picture of this. Because, of course, Oswald has his own camera.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, hey, I think this is one of the Roger Craig Smith NPCs.
Hey, did you hear? Polly over in the ice cream shop's having some trouble keeping the ice cream all cold.
It absolutely is. That's like using his "say yes to the dress" voice. Anyway, let's check in with Polly. I like how NPCs can enter and exit buildings, but then they don't actually appear in the 2D buildings.
Oh, much better. It's getting chilly already. Well, I was going to use this scrap metal to fix it, but no need now. Hey, why don't you take it? Say, you want some ice cream?
No, I actually do want to save some money for later, so, but then again, I actually kind of prefer melted ice cream anyway, and from my understanding, you had only one melted ice cream in the entire world. So, you know, he can sell it on eBay for 20 million e-tickets. Now, we're still a bit short on scrap metal, because we need 50. Now, there is a way to get a lot of scrap metal very quickly. It only works once. But what happens if we thin out this suspiciously tune-colored part of the ground?
Do be careful, Mickey. I believe this building is rather unstable.
If we continue thinning our way through here, it is a shortcut where we don't have to deal with jam face, but it also causes most of these buildings to collapse. So that's an any % route. Like, I think, last time, I think you said that, you know, games like this, you know, they're good for a lazy afternoon. I would recommend playing this game, despite all of the shit that I've talked about it. It's not as bad as its reputation suggests. I would recommend picking it up. It frequently goes on sale on Steam.
Well, I mean, like, the thing is, like, you know, crashing bugs aside, the game does appear to have at least a little bit of charm to it.
It does. And I mean, and as PC ports go, I mean, it's not horribly broken. It is playable. And, you know, especially like last year, there was an emergency hotfix added that allowed for multi-core support. So you no longer have to like go fiddling with affinities in Task Manager to get it running.
Thank you.
Like, I've actually played my share of licensed games. Like, there was this one Incredibles game, like I played on the Mac, that it also had a problem where characters wouldn't stop like doing like various like voice quotes, but also like it actually had a really decent beat 'em up on top of that.
And for those concerned about the frame rate, there is a hack, like directly manipulating the EXE, that lets you play this at 60 frames per second. Unfortunately, it also causes certain story events to break. So that's really just for like if you want to, you know, muck around in the post game. This game actually does have a proper post game and a proper final boss. You can keep playing after the final boss has been defeated. Anyway, there's another piece of concept art. Just leave it for a couple seconds there.
Mickey, the BEC entrance is on the floor right over there. We need to find out what broke the projectors.
We're going to ignore this chest because that contains an item with a side quest that we're not going to deal with at the moment. However, we can go over here. There are several entrances. It's actually surprisingly labyrinthine. That's actually pretty rare. I usually don't see that many e-tickets coming from that particular chest.
Oh, is it random?
Yeah, it's random in the same way that that it's random in the first game.
Head to Oztown.
Yeah, shut up, Gus. I'm getting there. This is part of the alternate route that we would have taken if we'd gone through the construction site. There's a gremlin over here who can offer to blow up this door for about 100 e-tickets. And then you could avoid all that side questing and go through here. However, there's one thing. I'm trying to remember exactly where it is. Not over here. Well, I'll get to it in a second. I swear that Oswald's AI actually improved significantly on the PC version. You're just going to have to trust me on that.
Well, he seems to at least not be getting caught on things or the like.
Oh, yeah. In the original version, he got caught on things constantly. He got stuck in infinite loop cycles. It was bad. Really bad. I'm trying to remember. I thought it was around here, but there is a particular cavern with, well, I'm not going to spoil it in case I find it here, but, oh, yes, it's right behind here. Good thing I didn't talk about it so that I could actually get your genuine reactions to this.
It's the pink elephants from Dumbo.
Yeah, there's at least one other that I know of in Mean Street North, possibly a third as well. But that's cute. It doesn't do anything. It's just a neat little, you know,
charming
hidden thing tucked away in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
So this is our first method of 2D gameplay is down here, not related to the projectors. As Jamface mentioned in the cutscene that did not crash, they are the Doll Engineering Corridors, or DEC.
Wish to enter the DEC.
Named after Roald Dahl, who created the Gremlins that Gus is based on. And unlike in the 2D sections of Mickey 1, we can actually use paint, thinner, and our sketches.
Now, what kind of unholy experiment is going on in here?
I mean, these areas, along with one other area, they're basically the replacement for Mickey Jump Mountain.
This is a gremlin hellscape.
Pretty much, yeah.
Is this what they see every time they close their eyes?
Yeah, let's say yes. That's the funnier answer. Now, there's a very small little gameplay change, which was made in here so that, for instance, if I were to try and pick up this energy sphere in the original, I was moving the analog stick and pressing A, but it would prioritize the jump over the grab. And in the PC version, as well as the PlayStation Vita port, the priority switched so that it would be the grab or the other action, which takes priority over the jump. And that only applies to when you're moving the analog stick, as opposed to, like, if I'd let go of the analog stick entirely, you would grab it just the same, you know. But it sounds like a small thing, and it is. But it caused a lot of frustration in the original versions. Plus, the way that that change has been implemented in this version is kind of weird, because it also applies to things like doors and talking to NPCs, and you can find yourself in a situation where you can pretty easily get stuck somewhere because you can't jump out of the way, because the game always takes priority with the action over the jump command. And I think I'm going to just take a 2-minute break just so I could refill my water, because I was not expecting to talk this much. I'll be right back, and I'll cut this out for the final version. All right, and this is the part where I cut back in. Welcome back, and if I decide to split this into 2 videos, which I'm not sure, welcome to video 24. I don't know for sure yet. Anyway, when we go through this entrance to Oztown, ignore that. That involves the TV sketch, which we don't have yet. We are about to hear Prescott speak for the very first time. I'm very excited. Also, here's the book.
Well, the book was also up there, like we were just standing on it.
Yeah, I will say that there are more repeat textures here than there are in something like Mickey Chuck Mountain, but it's still pretty cool.
Shall we enter the elevator to Oztown?
Sure, why not?
Wow, they just sort of faded from reality there. Or they just popped out of existence.
Yeah, that's actually just the projector animation.
Oh, shatter off, you worthless little... Well, well, now look who's decided to grace us with his presence.
Say, Prescott, we gotta get to Rainbow Caverns fast. Is the DEC still working?
Not exactly. It's down in that thinner sinkhole. Jamface gave Goofy some thinner pumps, but they'll take far too long. Naturally, I told Goofy how to upgrade them.
Mistakes were made.
Your first mistake was trusting Goofy to do anything.
I'm glad they managed to get the Goofy yell in somehow.
Oh, Goofy!
Oh.
Goofy, what happened?
Well...
Has anyone seen my right arm?
Just like Prescott told me. Don't know what I did, though, because they all went kablooey.
I told you...
I got a D- at home ec.
Not 3. Yes, it makes the pump slightly unstable, but it also gets the job done faster.
Gosh, they look more than slightly dangerous to me. I think I'll just go ahead and use the pumps how Jamface told me. And hey, you fellers can help me get those pumps back. I got a fairy sketch around here somewhere you could use.
Just make sure to wash it first.
The fairy sketch. Just think happy thoughts. That's my motto.
I thought your motto was over-explain everything.
Or even an enemy to make them float. You can then hit it with paint or electricity to send it spinning. Ha! But be careful.
I understand why they hadn't did it because of the multi-platform issue, but I really miss the fact that they're not showing the controller. It added so much personality and charm to these little tutorials.
You can use it whenever you wish.
Fine, but if you'd like to do things quickly, come talk to me.
I'm here to represent the irresponsible moral choice.
My word, that looks dangerous.
And why do I get so like a Sideshow Bob vibe to this character?
I don't know, but the point is that Prescott is no longer racist against phones. He's just a snooty English guy now. Well, these train stations seem to have appeared, after the first game.
Hey, Mickey, the quake collapsed this train station into...
Unfortunately, it's not possible to get a good camera angle of this guy. No matter where you are, the camera just does not like him.
That's fine. It's an attractive nose. Suits him.
A fairy sketch would probably lift up the roof, too. Then just paint it in, and all will be good.
Come on, let's do this thing.
So, as the train conductor told us, we use a fairy sketch to pull out the station and then paint it in.
That's not exactly what it is that we were told. Like that, it was supposed to be like, it freezes things in place.
You know what? This is close enough. Also, hidden Oswald.
Why, that looks just like you, Oswald.
And there is an identical hidden Oswald on the other side of the train station.
That counts?
It does. So again, I am very grateful that it doesn't fill up your camera roll. We're actually going to put the main quest on hold for a bit, because now that we have more than one train station active, we can use this to fast travel to Mean Street south.
Hey, you did it! Thanks a bunch. Let me give you something for helping me out.
Okay, now we can do it.
All aboard!
And there is a fee for fast traveling, but it's 25 e-tickets. It's basically nothing.
Now entering Mean Street Station.
Spirit of the Wasteland is another side quest character. Don't worry, we're not gonna be doing a side quest at all. At least not for this first part. So we have accrued plenty of cloth, mostly through those gold cloth pieces. So, you know, we still haven't talked to the haberdasher yet, even after fixing his fuse box. So let's go see what he has to say.
I am looking forward to hearing the history of fuse boxes.
Were you the ones that got my hat spinning again? Well, thank you, kind sirs. I'd ask my spinning hat to thank you as well, but he's a little shy. Anyway, here's a pin I thought you'd like. It's not as nice as one of my costumes, but then it couldn't be, could it? Oh, hello, Mr. Moose. You know, some toons say I'm mad, but I know they're just jealous. Do you have any costume pieces? You can't change into an outfit unless you have all 3 pieces. Hey, I don't make the rules. My hippo does. Take it up with her.
So we've already picked up the hat from the Steamboat Willie costume and also the headband from the Track Runner. So we get those for free, but we'll have to pay for the rest of it with cloth.
A lot of it.
Yeah, there are a lot of costumes for both Mickey and Oswald. There's a construction one. There's a firefighter, which I can't remember which short that's based on, but this is based on, I think, the Fun and Fancy Free Mickey the Beanstalk. That one's building a building, which there's actually a 2D level based on it. But what we're gonna get is the Steamboat Willie pants and the Steamboat Willie shoes.
Yeah, the game just outright said, you know, you can't wear a costume unless you have all 3 pieces.
Exactly. And while we're here, we're gonna grab the Track Runner. Don't grab the Tron helmet, because that's a different costume. It's not the one I want. Track Runner jacket. So now we've got all 3 pieces for the Track Runner and Steamboat Willie costumes. And
I assume that means that mixing and matching is completely off the table.
It is completely off the table, unfortunately.
Oh, yes. Thank you so much for visiting the Mad Hatter. Come back when you're feeling a bit mad.
Well, I am a bit mad because I can't mix and match costumes. I had no idea that you could knock Oswald in 2D. That's awesome. Come back here, you little shit. Yeah, there you go. Anyway, this is the changing room.
Head into the changing room to change your clothes. But keep a lookout for my purple hippo. She's scared of mooses.
I'll keep a lookout, but no, she's not here. Anyway, we're going to change into the Steamboat Willie costume. Once we get the projectors up and running again, which is going to be relatively soon, this will cause an extra gold pin to appear in each cartoon.
So, do the cartoons let you go back to visit them later on? Like
yes.
If you...
Yeah,
okay.
There aside from Dark Beauty Castle, every area can be revisited, which is also another big improvement from the first game. This is the Track Runner costume. This is basically the only costume you want if you're doing single player, because it lets Oswald's AI act a bit more freely, because he can no longer get stuck between a piece of geometry and an enemy.
Ooh.
So, I mean, the other costumes, I can't remember the exact details of their gameplay changes, but they're much better suited to playing in co-op. And hey,
Which
look
we
at
can't
us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he's even sepia tone. That's cool.
Yeah. There's one which we won't be getting that's based on the Sorcerer's Apprentice that gives Mickey the peach skin color look that he has in more recent media. Wow, looking dapper, gentlemen. So
more or less,
now
yeah.
we could, go through the utilidors again and, pay the balloon guy, but we just unlocked the train station, so we could go straight to Oztown from there. Now I'm hoping there's a 50-50 chance, and I'll have to, I'll keep reloading if I have to, but there is a particularly excellent Simpsons reference that this train conductor can make. He has one of 2 lines, and hopefully I can get this the first try.
Thanks again for fixing the station in Oztown. You were a huge help. Thank you for choosing the Wasteland Express.
Yes! First time, baby.
Yeah!
Now entering Oztown Station.
Okay, we've got our costumes. Let's go over to Goofy. Now, this sequence can be tackled in any way you want, but there's a particular sequence that, you know, has some extra choreography to it. So I'm going to take that one.
Okay.
Actually, first, he's posing. Let's get a nice picture of Goofy. There we go.
Oswald, what are you doing?
he does that.
One of the
He's in a jogger. He's jogging.
on Hortensia's roof. You can't miss her house. It's the pink one with hearts and stuff.
That's right. I support the gender binary. Oh no, the camera's... Okay, the camera was temporarily stuck. Oh no, wait. This is new.
You found it. Bring it down and connect it up to that pipe right there.
I think that somehow the...
Listen to that goof.
I think somehow... Okay, this is very strange. Somehow, when Oswald ran into Goofy, I think that's what happened, because I've never seen this before, but I think that's what caused the camera to go haywire. I've never seen this before.
You can't control this camera right now.
No, it's centering on Hortensia's house. I've never... This is so cool. I am so glad that this game is breaking in ways that I've never seen before. Like, it is...
Wow!
Mickey, are you trying to tell us something?
Like, I've played this game for hundreds of hours, and I've never seen this. Okay, let's see if I could reload.
Well, you can, but will that help?
Thanks again for Thank you for choosing the Wasteland Express.
2 for 2.
Yep. I think the other one is all aboard. Oh, hey, I always wanted to say that. Okay, so let's not talk to Goofy this time, because that's what caused the camera fuck up. Because, again, Oswald ran into Goofy, and that somehow caused, you know, the completely fucked up scripting of that sequence. He's going to say his line here.
Camera, yeah.
Bring it down and connect it up to that pipe right there.
Though I don't know why the A button prompt has disappeared. That's new.
Listen to that.
But it doesn't seem to be, it doesn't seem to be a permanent thing.
You see one of the pumps? It's right there, by Moody's house.
See, even when I'm trying,
Me and I'll show you.
even when I'm trying to let all of the dialogue play out, it still interrupts itself in ways that I haven't seen before.
Goofy, you don't want to be walking through that?
Sketch to make the pump float like a...
I mean, he's only walking through artificial grass. This is the thinner pool here.
And watch it move. That's the way. Now just take that pump over and pop it onto the station. There's another pump on top of the Gag Factory. Let's go get it.
And now this has gone on for quite a long time, so we may not have time to get to the side quest to fix up Mickey's house, but the telephone is in there, and as I previously mentioned, the telephone is now female. Mickey says trans rights, even if Goofy supports the gender binary. And in case you're wondering, yes, the fairy sketch does work on Goofy.
I was figuring it would just work on everybody.
Gosh. Whoa, yeah, whoa.
Anyway, the Gag Factory over here. Pump is on top of the roof. There was a chimney here last time. It seems like they removed it.
They went to gas. It's much more efficient.
And before I deal with the last pump over here, this part here is the supercharger that Gremlin Prescott mentioned. It does require an extra step because you have to use the fairy sketch twice, or you can kind of mess with the physics and do it a bit faster, but that only requires one pump. But it will also destroy the statue in the middle, and I think it has some other consequences as well.
So is Prescott always going to be wrong?
Yes. for reasons I can't get into because it's not covered in the story, or at least the story that we're going to be seeing. But yeah, the answer is yes. Oswald in the older version had a really high chance of getting stuck in this particular corner, which they seem to have fixed with some more aggressive scripting. Let's see if I can get him stuck again. I don't think so, but no. They seem to have blocked off that part. Oh, no. Wait. Wait. Okay, he's not running in place, which is already an improvement. Because he would get stuck here running.
Be careful.
Oh, there he is. There he is. Okay, so you kind of have to go out of your way to get the situation. But this happened, you know, without your input, and also they're forcing him out, which it was pretty easy to get him just permanently stuck there. See, again, you'll have to take my word on this, but as bad as Oswald's AI is, it is a massive improvement over how it was in the older versions.
This is like the version 2, the I don't want to say remastered, but we went back and fixed a bunch of stuff that we couldn't on the Wii because there's no such thing as network patching.
I mean, this also applied to like the PS3 and 360 versions. Basically, the only gameplay improvements that I've been talking about, like that whole boring rant I went on about action commands, that's stuff that only applies to the Vita and the PC versions.
Thing is, though, that the Wii did actually have patches. Like you had to download a particular packet and run it off the main menu. But yeah, like they had like a very early form of patches.
But they also didn't patch the other versions. And that's it, Oswald.
Another grand photo for the collection.
Well, that's a stretch. That's an Oswald.
Yep, that's an Oswald too.
That looks just like you, Oswald.
Citation needed.
I feel like there might be some bias.
Hello, lads. Now that the thinner's clear, I can get back to work. If you're looking for the DEC entrance, it's across the way. As for me, I'm trying to open this door here. As you can see, all the gears got thinned out. If you paint them in, the door should open.
Oh, how does it feel if they just called you the Green Goblin instead of giving you a name?
Yeah, that's still like like that's
oh
the
no,
second
this
time
happened
that
again. That's the second time I've seen that. See, here's the thing. Oswald with his remote upgrade also got the ability to reprogram enemy beetleworks. But the way that Oswald's AI just acted there and putting the that particular hopper, having him crush him here, the hopper is supposed to be reprogrammed by Oswald, and then it goes over here and it hits this switch, which I don't think I could reach. No, it looks like that's scripted. Oh, I never noticed this. This is a detail just for the Steamboat Willie. Look at the top of his hat when he takes damage. That's unique. That only happens with that costume. I'm learning things. This is educational for me as well as for you. I never noticed that.
By the way, I had to mute and unmute, so is my dialogue coming in?
Yeah, it is.
You're fine. Yeah.
Good.
If I said no, you couldn't possibly believe me. Anyway, let's go over to the second DEC. There's like 4 or 5 of these, I think. Also, don't ask me to have any more Disney trivia. Like before, there's a bunch of references to other things, but I put in so much research already into all the stuff for Epic Mickey 1. I'm not going to be doing that again for this little preview video.
Yeah, kind of no point to it.
Though, whether or not it's actually little is to be debated. But, you know. And for obvious reasons, when you're in the DEC, you can only use the freeform aiming style. There's none of the snap back. But that's because it wouldn't work in this version anyway.
Well, Oswald, you're stuck now.
Unless you've learned to teleport.
Wow. I'm a little disappointed that like running on the record doesn't like actually like play it or something.
Oh, there actually is one more thing with it. Now, I've never actually tried this. No? Okay, it doesn't work. I guess not. There's a prompt here. No? Okay. Alright, I thought it actually did work, but you can just jump on the flippers. And there are, like, the DECs are actually quite maze-like. There are a ton of different collectibles you can get around just by crisscrossing the paths. But I am taking for the most part, the most optimal route.
Huh. Are they unique maps or?
Yes.
Like it feels like.
This is a different DEC compared to the first one, yeah.
Okay.
And I know you said before you were disappointed that it didn't affect the speed of the record when you walked on it. However, you can still thin it out and it stops the music.
That's something.
Yeah, that's a little bit of detail. Also, there's no resistance. Mickey just kind of goes crazy if you just stand still here. I'm not pressing the analog stick at all. You know, I'm having a lot more fun than I thought I would be. I'm still not doing the rest of the game, but, you know, I thought this would be much more of a slog, especially considering the game's reputation. But this has actually been, you know, we've had some fun bugs. We've had some interesting new discoveries.
Bambi's on drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And more importantly, Sneezy appears to be on drugs. At least I think that's Sneezy.
Hard to tell from the angle.
I hope you haven't gotten tired of the overly complicated gameplay mechanics yet, because there's more. We're not even close to done.
I do appreciate, though, that all these sketches are now infinite use.
Yes.
Invisible ink. We should investigate at once. If we paint in the tune around an inkwell, it fills with invisible ink. Jumping into the invisible ink will make you invisible. Seems rather obvious when I say it out loud.
So, this is actually introducing two mechanics at once. First, we have the invisible ink. And secondly, hey, look at these. You recognize those things. You saw them all the time. This is how the Guardian system works. We do not have the meter that determined whether tints or terps are summoned to us. Instead, we have Guardian pools. And because most of the tune has been painted in around this area, it means that tints are attracted to us. And if we were to thin out this area, this would change to the Guardian pool would change to its terp version. And it actually takes you take damage if you walk on that. Whereas with the paint version, it slowly regenerates health. So, I mean, terps are pretty valuable, but it's harder to get them.
Yeah. So it seems sort of almost like a fairy fountain, like from Legend of Zelda.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
I just realized I almost did things out of order here. Because we go over to this other room. That kind of looks like that eye from the very beginning of the game, the first game. I'm sure nothing will happen if we walk across here.
It seems to be malfunctioning. If the eye sees you, the door will close.
And it also opens up a pile of spikes here.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Well,
so yeah, the Mad Doctor is definitely not involved at all.
Probably, maybe. Anyway, the way to circumvent that is through using the invisible ink.
The invisible ink is slippery, so if you move too fast or double jump, it will slide right off.
Yeah, there is no like timer. It's entirely dependent on how fast you move. This is actually another gameplay change that was made for the Vita and PC versions, which is if you ran forward, we would run at full tilt, and the invisible ink would wear off much quicker. But here, when you use invisible ink, yes, shut up, Gus. I'm gonna pause the game so that the dialogue gets cut off there. But yeah, the point being that if you run full tilt in this one while having invisible ink, it actually does slow you down, so it doesn't wear off quite as quickly. So we just tilt the analog stick forward a little bit. Don't want it to slip off. And that eye does not see us.
If you were using WASD, like, is there actually a dedicated like sneak button?
You know, I don't actually know. I'm gonna have to test that later. There's some fireworks over here that unlocks a shortcut, but I actually do want to show off this part. Rainbow Falls are also based on one of the rides. I don't remember which one. But over here, behind this rock, another trapped gremlin. And this is another great example to show off that Mickey can block the electricity. I never get tired of that.
I was working on the Projector substation when the quake struck, and I hit my head rather impressively. When I awoke, I was locked up in there. Not sure how or why, I tell you. Very strange indeed. For your kindness, I'd like to help you out. Oh, I know. There's a secret area above the large balancing rock. You should investigate it.
For the record, we are now reaching the point where I actually wrapped up the section that I wanted to show off in my dress rehearsal last night. This has gone on much farther than I expected to, or longer. But you know what? I'm okay with it.
Well, you did lock us in for 2 hours, and we got 20 more minutes.
Oh, there's a specific point that I'm going to use as our cutoff point. Anyway, we met a sweeper, or re-met the sweeper, and I want to approach this carefully because there's some extra dialogue that will get cut out.
But one we could surmount if we had indelible ink.
So, along with invisible ink, we have indelible ink. This makes us basically invincible for a period of time.
Indelible ink would certainly help us get past those falls. The ink.
Yes, but how, Gus?
Even thinner will slide off. Do be careful, however. The shell breaks apart as you move. If you're hit too many times, the shell will break apart. But at least it will give you time to catch your breath.
Yeah, it's basically temporary super armor. Kind of like Metal Mario in Mario 64. Now this
kind of looks like it, yeah.
Yeah, this is the secret area. This is the secret area above the balancing rock. The best way that I found for handling it. Now there is a way to do this without the watch sketch, but I find this is a little more consistent. Because thank you, camera. I really appreciated that I was unable to make that jump because I could not see where I was going.
That's all good. It worked out for, in the end.
Yo, more pins.
Yep.
Can't never have too many pins.
Yeah, the pin trader in Main Street North, who we won't be seeing in our preview, basically allows you to trade a set number of generic pins for other special pins, which includes pins that you locked yourself out of by making certain choices.
Also, Snow White looks stoned.
Speaking of Snow White, there are the 7 clever boys. God, who's gonna get that reference?
Goodness.
I did.
Projector substation. You see those falls?
You've also seen many videos about Phoenix games.
And see if you can find the problem.
So, it kind of got lost, I think, when we were talking about other side quests, but one of the side quests we could do for Adele is to take landmark photos of certain spots. And I do appreciate that there's also historical plaques. You know, a little scant on detail, but, I appreciate the effort.
What a perfect place to take a picture.
Gus,
Thanks, Gus.
Thank you, Gus, for photobombing that. I was going to turn that into Adele, but...
Looks like the funnels that draw power from the falls aren't operating. See if you can use this device to get them running again.
Sorry, Gus, I'm staring into the eyes of madness here.
Guilty.
Oh, I plead no contest.
I didn't know that Goofy
hold
played
on.
the accordion.
Wait, I forgot. There's somebody down here.
Oh no, it's one of them Pete's.
It's Small Pete. I almost forgot.
Aww.
It's that you can see him before this next cutscene comes up that's supposed to introduce him. I also have this cutscene basically memorized because of the speedruns I did for this game.
Hey, what you doing up there?
We could ask you the same question.
Instead, I'm going to take this opportunity for a water break.
Well, see, I was working in here before the quake hit, and then the projectors went down. I've been trying to get them fixed ever since. Once they're fixed, I could finally get out of here.
Also, I'm pretty sure the music that's playing here is from the Asia boat ride at the beginning of the first game.
And you go and turn it on. Now, thanks to you guys, there's all sorts of problems. See those pipes? They all need to be taken care of. So get to it.
Now, in situations like this, there are very deliberately an odd number of mandatory objectives.
Needs to be shut off.
Shut up, Small Pete.
Figure out a way to get back there.
So we could either, line up the pipe correctly or put it onto the broken one. We actually do want to take the paint path for this, because over here, this entrance is another DEC. But over there is a projector. We haven't seen a projector yet.
Pipe in the middle of the room.
Aha.
Coupling already.
Since I haven't mentioned it until now, I guess it's a good time to point out that Jim Cummings, the voice actor who does all the various Pete's, also plays Tigger and Winnie the Pooh.
Pipe's running nice and smooth.
I didn't realize he was Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, I knew about Tigger, but not Winnie the Pooh.
Was the one who fixed it.
Now, if we had not picked up the watch sketch, we could use this over here, paint this in, and then run over to the fan and go inside here to fix the pipe.
Oh, yep. That pipe's running smooth as butter now.
Now, we have already done 2 of the paint objectives, which means that we've locked in the paint choice, which means that we get to have a little fun with this other pipe.
Hey, Mickey, you gotta get up high to fix that pipe.
You know what,
Shut up, Pete?
You know what? Just for that, I'm gonna take the mean route.
Oh, what are you doing?
I'm so glad that Gus uses that line. It's pretty rare.
Good at all. What'd you do back there? Try and destroy the whole thing?
Yes, and it's your fault.
The machine is ready, so let's get it going. Get on over to the center and start her up.
Now, we won't be visiting the haberdasher again, but behind this rock is another gold cloth piece. I swear they actually are pretty rare unless you know where they're all hidden.
A bit of cloth. We should hang on to it for later.
Oh, you do not play this game if, like, repeated voice clips irritate you. While I'm here, actually, I don't know. What I don't know is if Small Pete counts as the kind of NPC where you could use a fairy sketch on them.
Only one way to find out.
Oh, okay. It didn't work. Not for the lack of trying, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess he's protected.
Well, we learned this trick before back in Dark Beauty Castle. So let's do the old 1-2.
What in the world?
There's wonderful news coming down. Hurry to my lab in the Gulch.
Wow, he's totally off rhythm with this.
What is that sound?
Oh, the voice actor for Mad Dog in other languages, they don't even try. It's actually kind of funny.
Oh, it sounds like he's in trouble. How do we get to his lab from here?
Well, that there projector should take you to Rainbow Caverns. From there, it's just a hop, skip, and a jump over to the Gulch.
Thanks, Small Pete. Come on, fellas, let's go.
Sure, don't worry about nothing here. You heroes just leave the cleanup for us regular tunes.
Projectors have been upgraded since your last visit. Spin the gear to determine how you want to travel through the film inside the projector. The signs
Wait, what?
which path you wish to travel. The paths hold different hidden treasures, so choose wisely.
Sounds like busy work.
So what Gus means by all that is that the right path is more straightforward, but the left path has the hidden film reel. And also there are different treasures you can only get if one or both characters are on one side or the other. It's actually much more interesting than it sounds. I also wanted to, I didn't bring this up during the cutscene because I didn't want to jinx it, but aside from that Mean Street North cutscene with Jamface, that was the other cutscene that also has a propensity for crashing.
Oh, the small Pete one?
Yeah, the one specifically after the projector. The one with Mad Dog singing in it. Anyway, we're going to switch positions so that Mickey's on the left, Oswald is on the right.
This projector leads to the angel side of Rainbow Caverns. Shall we?
By all means, Gus.
And this is based on building a building from 1933. I do not have any more facts beyond that because I do have a limit to my research. But hey, look, there's Oswald over there. He's on the right side.
Oh, that's how that works.
Yeah, his AI. And now this is a gold e-ticket, which normally you can only get if Oswald is on the left side. However, I'm going to try. Okay, one more try, and then I'm going to give up. I have done this before. Okay, fine, I'll give up. But it is possible to get that. Now, if we were playing in co-op instead of single player, we could bring an Oswald who is on the right side over to the left using this lift. However, Oswald's AI is too stupid to line up. So you'll just have to take my word on that.
It is an interesting idea, though, having two characters like go platforming up two different sides of an obstacle course.
And then coming back together, yeah. Oswald's still going. He's over there somewhere. You might be able to hear him collecting e-tickets on his own. And because we are wearing the Steamboat Willie costume, that gold pin up there spawns on this side. Again, that only happens if you're wearing this costume.
Look at you go.
And stop.
Yeah, unfortunately, the music does not loop nearly as cleanly as it does in the first game. Also, probably because the 2D levels are a lot longer than they were in the first. Anyway, over here is where the film reel is. We won't actually be seeing what film reels do in this preview video, but the idea is you take them back to the projection artist, and he will allow you to use these as a form of fast travel. Now, Oswald is over here, and because he's here, we can use him to grab the e-ticket. Like, you can clearly hear the Fred Jones influence, right?
Leads to the
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Rainbow Caverns. Shall we?
And again, if we had done the thinner route when it comes to fixing the projectors,
Devil and Angel Caverns.
not only would we have gone through a DEC, but we would have actually started out in the devil side of Angel and Devil Caverns.
In order to reach the other side.
See this down here? This is an entire playable area down here. And not only that, there's an achievement for starting on this path and jumping down here. I think it's called Fall from Grace. It's cool, but I'm not going to show it off because the path over here is another DEC, and I think you find the projectors more interesting anyway.
You know, they both have their charms.
Beneath those statues live the 7 sisters, spirits.
Now, I'm going to deal with these guys for a minute here. Now, as far as I know, this is one of Adele's requested photo spots. And it's not entirely painted in. And I think that affects the reward you get as well, but I'm not entirely sure.
That's an interesting picture of the angel. Adele should enjoy it, even if it is missing quite a bit of tool.
Well, Gus does have dialogue for it, but Gus has dialogue for putting your socks on.
Yes.
So.
Yes, exactly. Anyway, what is this weird thing next to the sweeper? I mean, it's clearly a 2D sprite, but what of?
A fan. A paper fan.
Now, this is an odd item. It seems to be neither tool nor inert.
That is a real-world object. Also, thank you, Oswald. I didn't need the help, but, you know, it's the effort that counts, I suppose. One other improvement from the original. Bottomless pits are no longer lethal. Whee! Yeah, you can use it to teleport to the other side. Now, if Oswald actually, if he's actually a good boy, he'll allow us to cross here. This is obviously a thing meant more for co-op. But the idea being that the sweepers that were down here are scripted to attack this to attack this part of the statue as you try to cross it.
Oh.
Now, thankfully, because we're playing in single player, we don't actually have to worry about bringing Oswald over. So we can just leave him be and go over to the next projector. Now for this one, which is based on A Night on Bald Mountain from Fantasia, I'm actually going to have both Oswald and Mickey on the left side. Even though I know from having practiced this earlier that the special Steamboat Willie pin is on the right side. But this path is more interesting. We are going to go to an area called Disney Gulch. Oh, I'm just adjusting my mic. Hopefully that didn't make too much noise. I could always edit it.
It's all right.
It's all good.
Anyway, this is obviously based on Night on Bald Mountain, that particular sequence from Fantasia, which is where, I believe that's where the design for Chernobog comes from.
Yep, exactly.
And because we got Oswald with us, he can help us over here and get the money from the bell tower. Regrettably, we won't be able to get the gold E-pin, but, or not, no, just the gold pin. Not an E-pin, that's different. That was Disney's ill-fated attempt to cross pin trading with cryptocurrency. I mean, that was a joke, but I wouldn't be surprised if they tried it.
I'm surprised you didn't comment on the fact that we did just kind of run past old Chernobog himself, just in the volcano.
Oh, right. I didn't notice that.
Shall we visit Disney Gulch?
I was too excited for Disney Gulch.
And pins.
Disney Gulch?
Unfortunately, because of how my OBS setup is, there will probably be times where the gameplay audio mysteriously cuts out. And that's because it's applying a compressor effect twice.
You see it falling out of the sky every now and then. Some of it we can use, but most of it just sits here forgotten.
Oswald is talking about OBS plugins.
What's
Surprisingly, we're only about 20 minutes behind schedule, all things considered. Because there's one more map after this, and then the boss fight that ends part 1.
Oswald, Mickey, come to my lab. You can use the train to get here. But remember that the train won't run without the battery spheres. Please hurry!
None of that rhymed, bud.
I mean,
you could theoretically rhyme sphere with here.
It's freeform. I mean, it's hard to write these songs, Anyway, welcome to Disney Gulch. This was an area that was considered for the first game, but it was cut, along with Fantasyland. I mentioned before there is an area that has some Alice in Wonderland stuff in it, but it's not Fantasyland. And this is part of the Sorcerer's Apprentice costume, which is actually one of the most powerful costumes in the game, because it doesn't give you any of the other, advantages of the other costumes. Instead, it gives you maxed out upgraded paint and thinner capacity.
Oh, it looks like that spatter.
And that could actually be really helpful.
It's not as game-breaking as it could be, but only because the other costumes have really cool mechanics too.
Should be able to attract one.
Now, I'm clicking in the right stick, which is supposed to, you'd think this would be the safe area to practice with Guardians, but we're out of range. And of course, it attacked the wrong enemy, as it is wont to do.
I'm glad the targeting hasn't improved any since the first game.
Yeah, I was reviewing footage for... Oh, right. I was wondering why Oswald is so aggressive, but then I remembered he's wearing the track runner costume. We're just running into an enemy without even attacking. We'll set them flying.
You'll be attracted to you.
You mean you forgot that?
Or I hadn't considered it. I was wondering why it was happening.
This is one of those battery spheres the Mad Doctor spoke of.
Now, this is one of those instances where normally you'd be able to grab this, but I can't, and I can't jump over unless I go out of the way. Like, it's... Basically, it's replacing one annoying mechanic with another.
A little janky, yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Anyway, these energy spheres, we only need to put one into the receptacle. But I am deliberately getting all of them because it unlocks the path for a cooler shortcut.
For more spheres, we might want to retrieve the others. The Mad Doctor obviously created them for a reason. Head to the train engine when you're ready to leave.
Now, hopefully, it'll actually attract the enemy I want to. Not that one. No. Over here.
You know, they should have taken a lesson from the Wind Waker game. Like,
there it
is.
is.
Just, like, highlight something in order to lock onto it.
And it does that, except it's not as prominent. Like, even in the original Epic Mickey, they had those, the extra cinematic black bars to indicate it, which I think that was introduced in Ocarina of Time. But
is in position.
Yeah, no, but I'm talking specifically about like the Wind Waker boomerang, where
yeah,
like if you highlighted things with the targeting reticle, then it would actually mark them to show that it had locked on.
The more objects you thin, the more.
So I hadn't really mentioned this yet, but this particular Guardian pool is blue enough that this enemy, who I did not attack at all or use any Guardians or paint on, has turned friendly just by walking through the pool. And I believe with thinner pools, which we're about to do here, because this sphere is trapped, that one is specifically tied to these cacti. So we're gonna thin this out.
The more objects you thin, the more a thinner Guardian.
As you can see now, it's in neutral. Which, now if we thin out all of these cacti, it's actually going to end up being too corrosive. But, with just this third one, now it's enough that this tuned piece of the bridge here will not regenerate. So we can actually free the sphere here. And there we go.
Yay!
Interesting puzzle.
Yeah, it is. I wish there was more stuff like that in this game, to be honest. I'm not doing a very good job convincing you that this is a bad game, am I?
No, I'm actually really enjoying this.
Yeah. I see a little bit of jank, but not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Although, as previously mentioned, I've played this for literally hundreds of hours because of my previous speedrunning experience. So, there may be a bit of bias here in terms of how well this controls.
I guess, but still, this doesn't look like a 5 out of 10 game. If anything, I'd say it was probably closer to 6 or 7 at worst.
Although it is treated significantly worse than I believe it deserves, which that's a strange position to be in when you are protecting a mediocre game from accusations of terribleness.
Now this is an odd little item.
And that bottle cap over there is another one of the real world objects I mentioned earlier.
Here's my thought. I believe that part of the problem was that the original Epic Mickey, its whole concept was being Mickey, but more grim and kind of darkish. And this game, it does seem like it's going for a significantly lighthearted side, which I think is part of why people recoiled so strongly against it.
Yeah, that's part of it. I mean, the thing is that Epic Mickey 1's tone was dark-ish, but because of those early pieces of concept art, that really messed it up. By the way, we can, now that we've painted in most of the saloon in Disney Gulch, that's also one of the photos that Adele wants. Although I think she wants it from over by the spot where the plaque is. We won't be turning it in. We won't actually be going back to Main Street, but I might as well show this off.
A photo of the restored saloon. My, it looks so nice. Perhaps I should open a restaurant there someday.
I think what I took a picture of there was one of the hidden Oswalds. Maybe. There are hidden Mickeys. That's weird. Was that okay? Thanks, game. Okay, let's keep going. We've got 3. Oh right, there are other upgrades. The whole thing involving Spirit of the Wasteland, which is one of the upgrades you could get from there is that you can upgrade the maximum number of guardians that you carry around, which I think it goes up to 6. Anyway, hidden Mickey over here.
I think it's pretty obvious.
Yeah, some of them are much more obvious than others.
Will we run into any hidden Mickeys that come in pairs?
No. I don't. I mean, aside from the more structural stuff, I don't think that any of them are really supposed to come in pairs. And we also get this special pin, specifically for collecting all of the energy spheres. Another cute little Dumbo reference.
That's always nice.
Let's get out of here.
Are you ready to leave?
Yes!
Brilliant! The bridge is working again. What a marvelous piece of technology.
And because we collected all the spheres, that means that we have access to that whole other part of the level. Which, you just grab the one, you have to go over here. There's a projector. That's a shortcut to the boss area, but it actually means that you also skip one of the phases of the boss coming up, so I'm not going to do that. Now, Oswald reacted a bit too quickly here, but there is a covering on this button that Mickey has to melee first before Oswald can stun him. Otherwise, it works very similarly to the other Blotworks that we've seen.
I see that is actually an improvement on the robot enemies we had to fight in Epic Mickey 1, where you were just like spin attacking them over and over again.
Yeah, I don't know for sure, but I think the old trick with the TV sketch also works on these guys. But again, you don't get the TV sketch until a bit later in the game.
So would that have counted as a hidden Mickey, like the Mickey symbol on that yellow sign back there?
Maybe. I don't actually know. I know. I realize that it may sound unbelievable that there are things about this game I don't know, but you'll have to trust me on that.
I guess that was more of an overt Mickey than a hidden Mickey anyhow.
Yeah, the overt Mickeys are a whole different set of collectibles. Although I do like that Disney Gulch at least carries the spirit of Mickey Jump Mountain, which was, one of the best parts of the original game. Oh, I also completely forgot to mention, there is a third Epic Mickey game, sort of. It's exclusive for the Nintendo 3DS. And it's really more of a spiritual successor to, like, the more classic 2D platformers. Although, from what I understand, it also has, it has summons, sort of, where you can summon other Disney characters to help you in battle. But other than that, I have not heard good things about it.
I actually have heard of a few of them, like the older Mickey platformers, I think Mickey Master of Illusion.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, the
Mickey Mania.
Yeah, the subtitle for the 3DS spinoff is actually called Power of Illusion. Clearly, referencing that particular game. And this is based on the old mill from 1937. Sorry, the year is all you're getting on this one. No obscure facts from the, the history of Mickey Mouse cartoon shorts book that I bought and is currently being used as a paperweight.
It is a very heavy book, so.
Now, this is another instance where if Oswald's AI actually cooperated, he could grab onto that hook and swing over to the other side.
Neat, yeah. You see, this game, it has ideas in it. Like, it feels like the folks who created it, like, they had a lot of really interesting plans. Like, it's not something where they just could have half-baked it.
I agree. And back in, a couple of videos ago, I mentioned that, this game is not so much designed by committee as it is by a dozen different committees who weren't allowed to talk to each other. And I still think that holds true.
Yeah.
I get kind of curious. Epic Mickey.
Yeah, it's Power of Illusion for the 3DS.
Hey there, Oswald.
Yeah, he decided to join us after all. And there's the pin. That was just a rookie mistake on my part. I should know better. There we go. Grab that pin.
Fantastic. I was just curious if I could see what the development time on this was. Because like I'm sure they went back to just stripped down version of the first game for a lot of it.
Well, because the 3DS game is purely 2D, they kind of had to reinvent things from the ground up.
Oh no! I mean this game.
Oh yeah, this game. This was like less than 2 years. It was a very quick turnaround.
I think I said this a couple of times. We were talking about this offline. It strikes me as the sort of thing where it's okay, but it needed more time in the oven.
Oh yeah, regardless of the quality of the rest of the game, it definitely needed more polish. And this was a situation where, you had to crank out a sequel in less than 2 years, make sure it works on the Wii, as well as giving Blitz Games enough time to port it to every other console in existence. Like the Wii U version in particular is just awful. Dreadful stuff.
Yeah. That's the Wii U in a nutshell, ain't it? Like,
And I'm like saying this as the one Epic Mickey 2 simp on the internet.
Yeah, it feels as if the Wii U was sort of where a lot of franchises went to die.
This place. Mad Doc doesn't do anything small, does he?
No.
But at the same time, it had a couple of gems, right? Like it had this, and it had Fatal Frame 5. And it had this, and it had Fatal Frame 5, and then the rest of it was pretty much shovelware. So...
Well, it also had the wonderful 101.
Oh, that's true, too.
But,
I think there was a version of Okami.
Yeah.
So, this is an animatronic version of Elliot from Pete's Dragon.
Hi, Elliot!
I never saw Pete's Dragon.
I didn't, but I've not seen the original either, but there was one of the few really good Disney live-action remakes. Probably because it came out in 2015, when they were still trying it out. That version of Pete's Dragon is really good. Like, it's up there with like the 1997 or 98 version of 101 Dalmatians, which was one of John Hughes's weaker scripts, by which I mean it was still really good.
Yeah, I kind of like the live-action 101 Dalmatians.
Yeah, the 2015 Pete's Dragon is great because it feels like a $20 million indie film about growing up in a small town, except it just happens to have a giant green CGI dragon in it.
So are we trying to fix any particular parts of this dragon?
We're painting in the armor, or if you're doing the other route, you thin out the rest of the armor.
I see.
I'll admit I'm only half paying attention here because I was trying to talk about the Pete's Dragon remake. But this is actually a pretty good boss, and like a proper boss too, like with multiple phases. Incidentally, the fairy sketch also works on him.
Hey, you know, when I heard about this game, like I really thought like that it was like some sort of just low effort shovelware or something. But no, like this thing, it's got something to it.
So now the spatter who was piloting animatronic Elliot is out here, and I'm doing a terrible job mainly because I'm down to 1 HP. Yeah, I think we got him. I also kept the Guardians for this phase in particular, because there are some parts of Elliot that are pretty hard to get to. You can skip this entire phase if you take that other shortcut, by the way. This is why I didn't want to take that shortcut.
Oh yeah, Buzzsaw Tail.
Yeah,
I love it.
I don't remember Pete's Dragon having that, but you know, I never saw the remake, so.
Oh, that would have been great. But yeah, it's I mean, it's been a while since I've seen it. I saw it in theaters and really enjoyed it. But I mean, if you are looking for one of the Disney live action remakes that has genuinely great ideas and is well made, well acted, and basically is everything that you don't expect from one of the recent remakes, definitely check out. I think it was 2015 or 2016 that version of Pete's Dragon came out.
Well, you know, like the live action remakes aren't all bad.
Most of them are terrible. The Pete's Dragon is not one of them. Wait, there's a... I'm trying to remember... I think there's like a small piece of... Yeah, there it is. There it is. For some reason, the spatter is now in the back end of the tail as opposed to the top. Don't ask questions.
The dragon could thin the way again.
I am not that familiar with this phase because I usually skip it. Though I did practice it a few times before doing this recording. And also, this game's autosave system is even more strict than the first game's. Another reason why I'm not doing a full LP of the game. And, hey,
Are
over
you
here...
saying that, like, if we lose at any point in this fight, we're having to do the whole thing over again?
Well, no, it did just hit a checkpoint right before this climbing sequence. But in terms of autosaving, like, I wouldn't be able to practice anything.
Oof.
Like, there aren't even multiple save files, except on the Wii version for whatever reason. It's like, only the Wii has the hardware capability to have 3 save slots. That's the power of Nintendo, baby. And if you're playing on the Vita version, you can't even start a new game. At least, I think that's true. From the one person I know in the Epic Mickey Speedrunning Discord that has played the Vita version.
Okay, those are problems.
The thinner path here would be to thin out those columns, and that would bring it crashing down on him. So we have now finished the gameplay portion. There's just like a minute or two of cutscenes left, and then I think we can call it a night after that.
And a long night it's been.
You beat the dragon. Game's over.
Oh god, I didn't even talk about the PC port's fucked up history yet. I'll do that after these cutscenes.
Aww. Cute little guys.
Doc, your animatronic parts.
They're breaking down. What happened?
It's so sad to say the least. I was a tool in wasteland, living in peace. But my thirst for power nearly got demonic. To control the blood, I became animatronic. It feels like...
This is, within Mad Doctor's musical, this is the equivalent of, like, Memory or Don't Cry for Me, Argentina, or I Dreamed a Dream.
I mean, those would require him to actually, modulate his tune at all. Like, he's basically, like, singing the same way over and over again.
Yeah, see, this is what happens when you write a song for 6 different voice artists, or voice actors. Although he does hit some high notes toward the end of this song.
One by one. Oswald, tell me, Oswald, do you think it can be done? I hope you're right. 'Cause it feels like the end. That's a bad place to start. Look at me. I'm falling apart.
They've had enough. They're jumping in the projector. Get away from the doctor.
They're working again!
But there's big news to tell ya. I can stop the earthquakes now. Believe me, I can do it. And soon I'll show you how. But first, what wouldn't I give to walk and talk and be a tune? To be a tune.
Bravo! Bravo! Bravissimo!
Yeah, sure.
Before you celebrate too much, you better get a load of this. While I was fixing the substation, I found these jammed into the projector pipes. They were chewing them up pretty good, too.
A gag from the Gag Factory? What's the big deal?
Well, somebody shoved them there on purpose, and that means the projectors was sabotaging.
Sabotage.
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 I absolutely love the way that Jim Cummings pronounces sabotaged.
Oswald, what's wrong?
Which one of you bitches ratted?
Figure out who sabotaged the projectors. But they're all my friends, and good tunes, too.
Oh yeah, they look like your friends.
This isn't working. I'm no detective. You think I should ask Horace for help?
If you asked Horace for
would
help,
just tell Mickey to do it.
he'd outsource any and all parts of the investigation.
Isn't Prescott in charge of the Gag Factory?
Yes, but Prescott loves working on the projectors. He'd never destroy them on purpose. Actually, I checked in on him just a few moments ago, but couldn't find him. Come to think of it, Jamface mentioned that Prescott has some projects over in Blot Alley. To get there, we'll need to talk to Ghost Ian first. He's the self-appointed caretaker of Blot Alley and the spatters that live there.
Ah, Blot Alley's part of Bog Easy. So we can head to Main Street North.
Ghost Ian. It's just a nickname. He's not actually a ghost.
It's to distinguish him from Cow Ian.
We'll find the projector to Bog Easy.
And their distant relative Male Cow, who now runs the general store.
I was thinking it was more like stage name, like Ghostface Killa.
Okay, so that ends part 1 of Epic Mickey 2, The Power of Two. And I think we can call it here. I was hoping at some point maybe to do like one further side quest in Oztown, but I think we've had our fill.
Oh yeah.
We don't have things to do. Not anymore. Not in this preview. If people want to figure out what the rest of the game is like, they can go buy the fucking game for themselves. Shut up, Oswald! Okay, so, we can now, I guess we could consider this our debrief for the entirety of this Let's Play project. Gentlemen, your thoughts?
Well, is this being recorded also?
Yes.
Oh, I should probably have kept recording then.
Well, it's okay. I've got, like I said, it's everything's going through OBS.
Okay, well, thoughts about Epic Mickey 1 and Epic Mickey 2, or just this game in particular?
Either or. It's fine.
All right. Well, what I would definitely say, first of all, is that Epic Mickey and Epic Mickey 2, actually, feel like definite labors of love. Like somebody who really loved Disney and wanted to show all their history and all their iconography. Like like in terms of presentation and just sheer design, I really do love it. The gameplay, it leaves a bit much to be desired, and on the technical aspects, of course, are lacking. But music, art design, like the characters, like I kind of feel like all the aesthetic things they really nailed with these games.
Okay. Do you have anything else to add to this, Roy?
Beautiful presentations. Brilliant work, even if the controls are clearly a bit frustrating in the first one, and improved in the second one, but you kept finding fascinating ways to break this.
And that's just the stuff that I've never seen before. There's plenty more where that came from.
For sure, yeah.
So 2 needed some time in the oven. I feel like 1 was a more coherent idea. I think it could have been about 20 minutes shorter on the fetch quests, but both really good games. They cared a lot about what they were doing, and it shows through in the final product. I can't say anything negative about them.
Well, I agree with both of you in terms of the certainly the passion for Disney's history, and I guess from my perspective, I also think that this game does a pretty good job of trying to keep the playstyle matters philosophy alive, and present it in a way that an audience of, say, under 12 would understand and also appreciate.
Like
absolutely.
That's also an aspect that I really enjoyed, is that they let you both be creative and find like complicated solutions to puzzles, but also like if you didn't want to go through that, you could do it the easy way and just keep playing.
Yeah, exactly.
And, there was never a point where it looked like you would just get like completely bogged down and unable to progress.
Yeah, I mean, and if this is the stepping stone that these kids playing Epic Mickey 1 and 2 also want to check out, like Thief or System Shock or Deus Ex or Prey, I mean, that could only mean good things for the future generations of gamers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
This is a gateway drug.
Absolutely. So before we wrap things up, I kept promising the weird story behind the PC version, which I am more familiar with than I should be, but not enough to satisfy my curiosity. So the PC and Mac version, which never actually materialized at all, those versions were announced. They were going to come out day and date with the the Wii 360, PS3, and Wii U versions. I actually pre-ordered the PC version from my local Future Shop, which is the Canadian version of Best Buy, or was, rest in peace. And on launch day, I came down, I showed them my receipt, and basically the guy at the PC gaming section said, this was 2012. Their Disney Interactive still had their blanket, no digital distribution, everything retail. And they said, we haven't heard any information. There has been no press release announcing it, but we just haven't gotten any copies of the PC version, and we don't know. Thankfully, they gave me a refund. That was nice of them. Thank you, former Future Shop employee from 12 years ago. But then, I kept, there was, the console versions came out, received mixed to negative reviews, dead silence on what happened to that PC version. And it wouldn't be until about a year or two later that I randomly saw on a message board that the PC version had come out in a very localized release in specific parts of Eastern Europe, most notably Poland. And that's because, as we've seen here, I'll go through and you'll be able to see in the Steam version of this, the various languages. There are a lot of dubs. Actually, there aren't as many. There aren't as many as are, because this is probably just using the North America and Europe pack. But the point being that there's a lot of stuff, a lot of languages, and among those languages was going to be Polish. However, for some reason that I don't know about or don't understand clearly, the Polish language dub was going to be tied exclusively to the PC version, and it was very expensive. Like a lot of the Polish stand-ins for classic Disney characters were going to be involved. And then when the PC version was canceled, that work on that dub was also canceled.
Oh,
and
wonderful.
then the Polish voice actors, essentially revolted because they wanted to work on this game. I'm sure the real story's actually more complicated, but this is what I remember from the message board post that I saw. And it was through that the game got an initial very limited release in Poland. I actually have, I'll put a picture of it on screen right now, but I imported that copy back in, I think it was 2014 when I got that, and I have it. It's one of the only physical retail box PC games that I own. It has unique cover art specific to that version. And that's when I, first played around with the settings, realized how iffy the PC version was. And then about a year or two later, this game, along with a whole bunch of other Disney games, mysteriously appeared on Steam, just out of the blue, because Disney and Valve had reached an agreement on a limited amount of some Disney games as a test. Because prior to that, any game under the Disney Interactive label, which Junction Point is under that label, was only through retail. So you could only buy it in a box or through the Disney store, where they'd send you the box. So this was an early experiment for Disney video games to actually see if they would sell on digital storefronts. And
a little too late, despite being early. If it, like, the Steam version was released in 2014, but Disney Interactive itself, it closed in May of 2016. So
and Junction Point closed before that. Yeah.
Maybe they should have tried it a bit sooner. It probably might have saved the video game wing of the company.
Yeah. And just in terms of sales, Epic Mickey 1, exclusive to the Wii, sold about 1.5 million or 2 million copies. Epic Mickey 2 came out on 6-ish platforms, and it sold 250,000. And that's the kind of sales drop that gets your studio closed down.
Yeah, I think it really is just it feels like almost the game wasn't great in terms of technicals on the technical side, but it does sort of feel as if people just didn't give this game a fair shake.
Yeah, I believe the term is overhated as opposed to overrated.
As a recommendation on picking this up, right now Epic Mickey 2 is $20 on Steam.
Oh, okay.
But as you were saying, it routinely goes on sale, and in just about every Steam sale, it drops to $6.
I would say it is absolutely worth picking up this game for $6.
Yeah,
without a doubt.
Absolutely,
I don't know if it'll still be on sale by the time this video goes up, but just wait a month or two, maybe it'll go back down to $6 again.
The spring sale, the summer sale, probably by the time this goes up, it's going to be about New Year's spring sale,
the Easter sale, and the Lent sale, and whatever other holidays you want.
Worst case scenario, you put it on your wish list and it's there with 50 other games.
Yeah, basically the only reason I would not recommend the PC version is if you do want to play it in co-op. I would go for the Xbox 360 version. I don't know if the PS3 version supports Move, but I think it does. I'll put a bit of text on screen to either confirm or deny that. But yeah, get the 360 version. It is I always see multiple copies of both the Wii and 360 versions of this game, you know, back when I frequented mom and pop video game stores. And yeah, it's definitely worth picking up for a bargain. And yeah, I think that more or less covers what I've wanted to say about this game. Next up is a game that could not possibly be more different in scope, scale, or tone. It is Blasphemous, the Catholic Spanish Dark Souls simulator. We're gonna have a whale of a time with that.
Yeah, that's going to be quite the shift in tone, that's for sure.
Just have faith, it's gonna be great.
Nice.
Not exactly the best joke to end the LP on, but you know, it's been a wild it has been a wild ride regardless. And see you folks next game.
Take care.